This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, very good evening. We have 16 people joined. We just wait one more minute to start. Let others also join. So exactly one more minute. So we will be starting the webinar. Let me share you the guidelines. Hope you can see the guidelines. I request everybody to disable your video so that it will not disturb others. So it is just a audio webinar. Please mute your mic to avoid any disturbance to others. Please mute so that it will not disturb others during the webinar. Please leave your questions in chat option. So you can see on your right hand side top, you have a chat option. Please, while the webinar is in progress, please leave your questions or queries or any clarifications that you may require, so that we will be attending to that in our Q&A session, the question answer session. So please leave your questions there. We will start in 30 seconds. We're just giving little time for others to join. Okay, let us start. Very good evening from India, and welcome to our new webinar, the webinar on voice blasting and IVR solution. Before that, those who have joined, let me again take you through the guidelines. Please disable your video, please mute, so that you don't disturb others. Please mute your mic, and please leave your questions, queries, or clarifications in the chat, which is there top right hand side. We will be attending to your questions during the question answer session. Let me share my presentation. Yes, once again, this is Binish here. Good evening from India, astTECS. Welcome to yet another new webinar on voice blasting and IVR solution. Achieve your business goals fast and effective. I hope during this pandemic, all our partners and customers taking care of themselves and keeping safe and sound. We hope and pray that we will be over to this pandemic very soon and back to full business, so that we can start discussing and meeting frequently. Coming to the webinar, there is a particular reason why we have chosen this webinar for this month webinar. Everybody has started working from remote locations and office locations, and a lot of companies are trying to achieve their cost reduction to multiple parameters. One can be the automation of a lot of their processes. And one of the easy automation that the companies can achieve is through the voice blasting and IVR solutions. Okay, so in the coming slide, we will be taking you through different such approaches and case studies how companies are achieving their business goals. through voice blasting and integrated IVR solutions. Let us start. So this will be the agenda. So we will be covering these points. One is what is voice blasting. We will give you a broad understanding about the voice blasting solution. Then voice blasting as more effective alternative to SMS and emails. Uh, the earlier days, SMS and emails are very frequently used to reach out to the prospect audience, but we have much effective and efficient routes today, that is voice blasting. So how voice blasting can effectively replace SMSs and emails. Then classical way and advanced way of lead generation or reaching out to the prospect. I will just explain or take you through the traditional way, or we call it as the classical way, and the advanced way of generating leads or reaching out to the prospective leads. Voice blasting features, voice blasting application scope, where we will cover what all industries that using this voice blasting very efficiently. IVR. So then we come to the IVR solution and its new applications. So from the traditional just an auto attendant, the IVR is evolved into a lot of new applications. It mainly an automation tool for a lot of companies. So what are those new applications? We will discuss there. Then IVR, how the IVR is helping organizations to achieve their automation goals and cost reduction. So we have live examples how the organizations have implemented effective or efficient IVR solution to achieve manpower reduction and achieve their business goals. So then finally we will discuss about your questions, where the question and answer session. In case my voice is not audible or is blurring, please somebody can intimate me so that I can correct myself. So we continue. Let me discuss about what is voice blasting. I think a lot of people might already be knowing that what is voice blasting is. Just now, before we get into or I get into this webinar, I think if I count today, I might have got 3 to 4 voice blasting calls from different companies trying to reach out to me, so to find out my interest. One is from a credit card, the other one is from a personal loan. So every day today people are getting these automated voice calls where you answer and you leave a lot of inputs in the DTMF. In a simple sense, what is voice blasting is that it is voice broadcasting is a technique of sending pre-recorded voice messages to your audience. It's very simple. It is, in a simple sense, sending a pre-recorded voice message to a large audience. That is what the voice blasting means. But voice blasting has different synonyms, in the sense few people call it as voice blasting, few people call it as voice broadcasting, then others call it as voice messaging. Then there are few people call it as bulk voice messaging. So these are different terminologies used for voice blasting. So when you go out in the customer or when you have a requirement, please understand these all synonyms or terminologies leads to very simple concept that sending pre-recorded voice message to a large number of audience. Okay, so how it exactly works? Okay, so typically the voice blasting works is that you have a voice blasting platform which you can hire it on cloud, or you can purchase it and install it on premise, right? So we call it as on cloud and on premise solution. So there is a voice blasting platform, so you can hire it, rent it, or basically pay as you use concept, which is a rental model. The other one is the capex model, where you buy it and install it in your premise. So once you have this platform, whenever you feel that you wanted to initiate a bulk voice messaging campaign due to multiple reasons. So those reasons or application scope we will be discussing in our further through our presentation. So you wanted to send message to reach out to a large number of audience. You record that message. The message can be recorded through multiple tools. It can be a system generated, or you can record it, or you can get it recorded by a professional voice artist. Okay, you record your message. Okay, once you record your message, then a simple click, you can upload this into the voice blasting platform. So you upload the message, then you can schedule the calling window. For example, you upload this voice file, and you wanted to initiate this call on Saturday 2 p.m. onwards. So you have the calendar and you can schedule it. Okay, you schedule it, then you upload the numbers to be dialed. So because when we say you have audience for a, it can be a 10,000 or 1 lakh, 100,000, whatever it is. So when you have the audience, that means you have those audience numbers. So those numbers needs to be uploaded into the platform. So you upload the numbers, then at a scheduled time, this voice blasting platform will automatically start dialing those numbers, and when they answer the call, it will start playing to them. And in case you wanted to capture some input, for example, you have a pre-approved personal loan of you know $10,000. So if you're interested, press 1. If then if you're really looking for such an option, you press 1. Then it's a warm lead for the company. Okay, so the system will automatically start dialing at a predefined time window, and dials all the set of numbers which is given, 10,000 or 100,000, whatever maybe it is. Then you can also schedule lot of redialing logic. If somebody is not answered, you can, after some time, you can schedule the redialing, so that it again dials to reach out to the non-answered calls. The end of the day, once the campaign is over, the calling is over, or any time, you can come back and download a report and analyze the reports. So this is as simple as it is. So now a lot of companies, a lot of institutions, the voice blasting is a strategy, right? Earlier it was, we will explain that. For example, the example which I was giving, the personal loan company which is calling us and asking for an approval for their pre-approved personal loan. In the earlier days, what used to happen is that a live agent, the live human being, has to make calls and check whether you are interested or not. So in that way, companies are wasting a lot of time and resources, plus the expense, the money, to reach out to the right audience. But by the advent of voice blasting, on a click scheduling, it can be on a weekend, it can be on a non-office hours. So on convenient, you can schedule this, and you can easily collect the warm leads without much expense or human intervention. So that is the beauty of that. Again, because of the the prevalent use of WhatsApp. So I think almost everybody is using WhatsApp today, and in WhatsApp, one easy feature is that you sent the voice messages. Now why I'm telling is that because now the customers are more used to these voice messages. Okay, so the acceptability of voice message is much higher compared to last 2 or 3 or 4 years before, because of a lot of these reasons. People are used to listening to these voice messages. Hence the relevance of voice message or blasting or broadcasting is increasing day by day, and companies are adopting into their process. It can be any companies, if they are selling a product or servicing a customer, they are incorporating this voice blasting as their customer approach strategy. I hope I have clarified what is voice blasting, how it works. So let us move to the next one. So now the voice blasting is positioned as a better alternative to SMS and email. What does that mean? So many years from the advent of SMS and email, all the companies which is there in sales or in the process or services using SMS and email to reach out to their target audience, right? There are email campaigns, there are SMS campaigns, though still today also there are a lot of companies using SMS and emails as their primary tool to reach out their customer, their target audience. This itself shows the potential of voice blasting. Now the voice blasting is replacing or has come up as a better alternative to SMS and email. So there are certain drawbacks with SMS and email. Those drawbacks are, for example, when you send an SMS, there is no guarantee that whether the person who received the SMS is read the SMS. Of course, you can enable a read replay, okay, a read status replay, but most of the time it may not be accurate, or it is not easy to get a very real time no the statistics whether he fully read the message, or he just opened it and left it. All these things can happen. The same way it is with the email also. You send an email, there is a high chance, because the spam filters and all is very effective or efficient today. So there is high chance that your email goes to the spam, or even if it delivers to the right recipient. The problem is that he may not have opened it. Even if he opened it, he may not have read completely. Okay, but when it comes to an voice blasting, the good thing is that we know whether he answered or not. Of course, SMS also we know whether he received or not. Not it won't stop there with the voice blasting. It's not only that he answered, how long he has listened. So we have a call detail report which gives you each person. If, for example, if the file is 30 seconds, you can see that what is his listening time. If somebody has listened for all the 30 seconds, how many people, or somebody might have just answered and a voice message start playing and he might have disconnected immediately. A lot of people will do that. So the listening percentage, or how much time this particular person has listened to the file through a report. So this will give you a better understanding. And so the better reachability, the first thing is the better reachability. That means an instantly you can reach these people, because you are dialing numbers. If those numbers are active numbers, the call will ring, call can miss, or call can get answered. So better reachability and better response rate. So with SMS and email, we need to wait them to write back to you or SMS back to you. But with a voice blasting solution, the beauty is that you can have the DTMF means, for example, hi Mr. Binish, for example, I'm getting a call and telling that, hi Mr. Binish, this is so and so company and you have a pre-approved personal loan worth $10,000. If you're interested, press 1. Or I get a call from the Amex bank telling that, of course I get, okay, once in a week telling that, yes, because of your credit rating, we are pleased to increase your credit limit to so and so. If you are interested, press 1. Okay, so I press 1, automatically next 1 hour my credit limit is increased. It's as easy as this, using the the voice blasting solution. By SMS and email, it's very difficult. You send an SMS, I don't know, you may get a reply. I think you may get a reply, but you cannot guarantee when it will come, right? So it is better response rate, immediate outcome of the campaign. So end of the campaign, you dial 100,000 numbers, you know what happened to each number, what is the outcome for each numbers. On a simple click report, you can pull out these things. More lively, hence better acceptability. That is another important thing. By voice blasting, it can be a system generated voice or a personal voice, so that the people answering the call will tend to listen to those voices. So there are a lot of voiceover artists or animated voices which comes, there are instances when we answer the call, it pronounces your name very correctly, so that you get surprised, who is this, right? So there are a lot of strategies companies use with voice blasting also. More or less it is very lively and better acceptability. People tend to receive these calls and give their feedbacks. Very specific and short prompts recipients to respond. So normally what happens in SMS and email, maybe a lengthy email, I think customer will feel, why should I respond to it, right? He may ignore it, he may delete it. With voice blasting, you need to be very careful, because you cannot have a 2 minutes voice blast. Nobody is going to listen to you. So as a standard policy, the voice blast will be very crispy and short, so that customer will listen. It can be a 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe max 20 seconds. Okay, customer, and it can be very interesting, a soothing, beautiful voice. So immediately customer takes the next action. So that prompts the recipient, the customer, to respond, whatever may be the input. Right? It can be just a declaration, just a message, just an announcement. Right? So whatever it is, the recipients will receive these messages more happily. Then accurate and qualified leads. Okay, so I have already explained these things. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that uh, you know the voice blasting is slowly replacing SMS and email, though a lot of companies in the market still using SMS and email. That itself shows how potential this voice blasting has got in the coming days or years. Okay, of course, voice blasting will be the next new technology in marketing, in promotions, in announcements, all these fields. Okay, it will of course will replace the SMS and email. Hope uh, uh, this is clear. So we moving on. So here what I wanted to explain is that the classical way and advanced way, just to explain it more concrete so that you understand it better. Okay, what is it classical way? I simply mean the traditional way of. Okay, so I have given two example. Okay, one is it's an example of call center, though the voice blasting can be used not only in call centers. Almost all the enterprises, those who are selling products or engaging customers, or they're releasing the services, all these people can use or is using voice blasting, including government organizations. So let us go through this classical way and advanced way, the typical the separation, to give you an idea how voice blasting is helping the company. So this is Sam. So on the classical way, Sam is there, he's running a call center, and he's selling an insurance, and he has a database of 10,000 customers, and he wanted to reach out to them at a specified time period. Let us take 1 week's time. He wanted to reach out 10,000 people and sell the insurance. Okay, so what he has done in traditional way, almost all the companies do the same thing. They establish a call center. At the same way, Sam recruits 10 agents and started calling this database one by one. Okay, and talk to these customers and explain the product and seek whether he is interested or not. So Sam recruits 10 agents to call this database, each one talk about his offerings. So what happens when you have a 10,000 database and you start calling one by one? It is guaranteed that 50% of these calls may not reach, or invalid numbers, or they don't answer. Right, a lot of issues will be there. It's not that everybody will answer your calls. A lot of numbers will be invalid, a lot of numbers will be busy, not reachable. All these issues will be there. So these agents are struggling to reach the customers. Once they reach the customers, we know in sales that you reach 100 people, not 100 people not going to say that yes, I will buy your product. The conversion is maybe 3 to 4%. You talk to so many people, you dial so many people, then you get connected to so many, then you speak to so many, then in that very few will say I'm interested. So now what happens? This is the call center job. So you contact the prospect, and if he's interested, then those calls will be transferred to an insurance agent who closes the case. Right? So until it reaches the insurance expert, all the activities which he is doing actually can be taken care by a voice blasting solution without any human intervention. That is what the advanced way, by implementing voice blasting into your process, can do. Right? So just assume the classical way, you have agents, they are working for weeks to reach out, just to contact a person and understand whether he is interested or not in his offering. Once he is interested, then in case of insurance, an insurance expert will explain to him and close the deal. End of the day, you get a report. Okay, but if he has a target to achieve this 10,000 calls to be made and do the business, maybe he will do a very poor performance. But when it comes to the advanced way, okay, this is, in this case, is Ms. Sarah. So she is running a credit card sales and process required to achieve her target, reaching out to 10,000 contacts. What she opts for voice blasting to identify, instead of recruiting agents and making manual or whatever making the manual calls or the physical calls to each customer, she opts for a voice blasting to identify interested leads on one click. So what she does, she subscribes with the voice blasting solution, uploads this 10,000 numbers, and she records a beautiful message and schedules it in one day. Maybe in one day or 2 days, these 10,000 calls are dialed, a DTM of and it is played if you are interested in so and so credit card plus one, right? In 2 days, she will get a report back. 10,000 numbers are dialed. These are the results without any human intervention. In that, as we say, 3% is interested. This 3% is interested, then immediately those calls will be transferred live. Okay. Yeah, that's also possible. So one is you pull out a report and again call them back. But in this case, the example what I'm trying to say is that the call, if somebody is interested, the call is live, transferred to an executive who discusses the credit card features and closes the deal there and then itself. You can see the difference, right? the the, the first 2-3 process in the case of advanced way simply overridden by the voice blasting. So this way you improve your efficiency, you can achieve your target much faster, you reduce your cost because you don't have to have so much manpower, then so many lead loss, time delays, save your time. All this can be achieved by implementing an effective voice blasting solution into your business process. Okay, I hope I have explained the classical way and advanced way, the difference and what difference it can make to your business. So we move on. Okay, so now coming to the voice blasting feature. So when I say what is voice blasting, I've explained a pre-recorded message sending to a set of or large audience. That is voice blasting. But apart from that, it has got a lot of other features, right? You can run multiple campaigns. The beauty is that you can run multiple campaigns. It's not that you can run one pre-recorded message for a particular process or a particular business at a time. No, you can parallelly run multiple campaigns. When I say campaigns, the people familiar with the call center might be aware. Now what is a campaign means? It simply means a process, right? For example, your company is into multiple products, you can parallelly run this voice blasting promotions or campaigns for all these products. Outbound IVR with DTMF. So DTMF is important here because it's not only that you can just play the message, you can collect input from the listener, which is very important, which will help you to decide what is the interest of each recipient of this voice blasting call. Real-time call transfer. So real-time call transfer means, so as I mentioned, if you are interested for so and so, press 1. If he presses 1, live that call can be, we can play a message telling that your call is transferring to a executive or an expert. The call will right away will be transferred to a live agent, right? That means this agent is always get a customer who is interested to know about the offerings what they are offering. Okay, that's what real-time call transfer means. Callback and listen option. So in case, so the another option is that when I say voice blasting, it's always come into your mind that you're calling somebody. Of course, the voice blasting means the voice will be played to a lot of people. But at the same time, if somebody misses this call, and it can happen, right? You get a missed call, and maybe when you're free, you wanted to just dial back. So when you dial back, the same message can be played to them. So there is a callback and listen option. If somebody misses the call and they call back, then the same message can be played. Call scheduling, I have explained how it works. When I explain how it works, you can schedule the call at a particular date, time. Okay. Then live status. So we have okay, the voice blasting has a dashboard where you can see the live status, how many calls are being dialed, what are so many calls have dialed, how in that call how many is dropped, how many is answered, how long the average call duration is, how much ACD is, how many people have selected your options is which is interested or anything else based on your process, how many people have given the input. Okay, so live status. Then detailed reports, you can pull out reports. Okay, easy interface to access. It's all web-based interface, so that you can easily access it using your user credentials, and you can configure this. So easy to access and configure. Then comes on cloud and on premise. Okay, so when I say on cloud and on premise, the solution is available on the cloud at the as well as on premise. So on cloud it will be use pay as you use. Okay, if it is a premise, it will be a one-time cost. Okay. Okay, so now we move to application scope. So it is very important to understand where and all it can be used. Why this is explained is to make you understand that these are the companies which we can target if you are a partner uh, or a franchisee wishing to sell our products, or if you are a customer, yeah, so belongs to any of these verticals. Of course you can start thinking of implementing the solution, but the solution is not just limited to these industries. Based on the business you are in, it can be used across the industries. So if you have any requirements, please feel come back to us so that we can consult with you and give you the right solution. So application scope of the financial institution. So these are based on widely used uh, you know uh, uh, numbers. So financial institutions, right? So financial institution, there are banks, there are no NBFCs, then there are card and insurance sales and collection agencies, a lot of financial institutions and related services, right? Very widely used, and you get, I think everybody gets call from these financial institutions, voice calls or voice blasting from financial institutions selling multiple services. It can be insurance, it can be credit card, it can be housing loan, it can be vehicle insurance or vehicle then EMI reminders nowadays I started getting. See, normally what happens, it's very interesting, our companies are automating their process, right? Our heading itself, how companies can automate and reduce their cost. See, previously I used to get my EMI reminder, an agent calls me and tells that yes, your EMI is due for so and so date, please keep sufficient balance. But now I get a call, when I answer, it is a automated message and tells that your EMI is due on 5th, please keep enough balance by 4th. All right, so companies is reducing their cost because there is no more human calling me or an agent calling me and speaking. It's just a recorded message. Okay, so that is the scalability and automation and cost reduction that we are talking about. So financial institutions, e-commerce and online companies, right? So e-commerce and online companies are booming this time, and all these companies are using. So when it comes to e-commerce and online companies, there are multiple usages. It's not that, don't think that they will call and start selling and I have an offer for so and so product. No, it is not exactly like that. For example, when you buy a costly product, for example, you buy an iPhone from a particular, I think in India a lot of e-commerce websites does that. If you buy an iPhone and it's a cash on delivery, or any costly product and cash on delivery, and they, after you place the order, you get a call, and it announces that you have placed so and so product, you wish to confirm COD, cash on delivery, press 1. Okay, because I myself received such calls. Okay, so, and you press 1, your order is confirmed. So they reconfirmation or re-verification of your orders, they do through voice blasting. Then then the OTP, right? There are a lot of, okay, it's applicable for financial institutions also, the OTPs. So now normally you get OTPs over SMS. Now there is an alternate also. You wanted to get a call for with your OTP, you can opt for that and you get a call. In the call, the OTP number will be announced or played. So you enter your OTP. Okay, so it is used in e-commerce and online companies. Then we have educational institutions. So educational institutions, multiple. So now when I say educational institutions, I think we have now two types of institutions. One is the traditional universities or colleges, which is with a physical campus. Now then we have the online institutions, right? A lot of online learning centers have come into existence in the, okay, that may be also part of e-commerce, but learning institutions, right? Like Byju's or n number of such companies are coming up, and a lot of people are enrolling, and all these people using voice blasting at multiple levels to reach out to their audience, collect data, get feedback, and a lot of their operations, it can vary based on their interest or for what they wanted to use it. So educational institutions is extensively using it, and political parties, right? The political parties also upgraded themselves with technology, and the new technology that is available in the market. So a lot of, so you can see the election time, there is a sprout in the voice blasting activities. You get every day almost calls, no, enticing multiple candidates. Okay, beautiful messages. So you are their achievements, the other party's drawbacks. A lot of messages you will be getting voice blasting. So a lot of political parties are using this tool very effectively, especially during the elections. Recruitment firms. So application can be decided. If you are a recruitment firm, you can sit and brainstorm and decide where I wanted to use this voice blasting solution to increase your reachability and reduce the cost. Government institutions, especially this pandemic, we ourselves has given to multiple customers, multiple government organizations, this voice blasting and IVR solutions to reach out to the citizens, right? For the government, it's always citizens, right? So so government institutions are using, they broadcast awareness messages, the precautionary messages, the alerts, right? Is not, your COVID is one example. When the flood happens, right? Government announces such messages. Okay. Then public services companies, for example, the electricity or gas supply providers, these companies also is extensively using both the voice blasting and the IVR solution. Then call centers, of course, the call centers, maybe all these companies have their call centers, and maybe they may be running this process. But when I say the call center, mainly to generate business or generate leads, in previous or earlier days they used to do with agents. Now reaching out to the warm lead can be done through a voice blasting. You need not require the agents to call and ask whether you're interested or not. That can be handled by the voice blasting. You blast a message, get the feedback. If it is positive, then an agent calls those interested customers and discusses the requirement. So that way you shorten your time to sales, then you reduce your cost and save your time. Okay, so these are the main application scope, and as I mentioned initially, it can be used across industries. It differs in the applications, and any industry or any company, they can sit together and brainstorm and understand or see how this voice blasting new technology which is there in the market can be effectively implemented. Hope I'm continuing. I'm just checking how many people have logged in. um, Hope there is no disturbance, as I have not heard any feedback. Okay, people are leaving comments. Let me repeat again. If you have any clarifications or questions required, please, on your right hand side top you have a comment column. You can leave your message there. We will be attending to your queries during the question answer session. Okay, there are a few people already left their message, so we will be attending to that in short time. Okay, so this is about the application scope of voice blasting, or voice blasting all about. Hope I was able to explain to you in a good manner how, what is voice blasting, and how the voice blasting can help the companies in the automation and cost optimization, and where and all it can be used. Okay, maybe these are few voice blasting dashboard. As you are aware that we have astTECS has got our own voice blasting platform on cloud as well as on premise. We would be happy to demonstrate the demo of our solution on your request. Please reach out to the respective salespeople. Contact us on our numbers or email. So we would be happy to assist you with that. So this is just a screenshot how the interface looks like. Maybe may not be visible. Okay, so that is about the voice blasting. Now we move on to the IVR solution and its new application, right? It's very interesting. Why we took voice blasting and IVR together? Because it goes hand in hand. Both are is a set of IVR, but in the voice blasting, there is a reaching to a large audience. As I mentioned, it can potentially replace SMS and email. Then IVR is mainly the people, the customers call and the message will be played in a traditional sense, but it's all used interchangeably. So now what's happening is that in a traditional, in a few years back, the IVR is very simple does a very auto attendant job. Somebody calls, it attend the call and routes him to the right extension or a right person, right? But no more the IVR is evolved from that, and it's no more a simple auto attendant application. Okay, now today it enables companies to attain its automation and cost reduction objectives. Okay, we will explain how companies are how IVR is implemented very effectively to achieve these goals. Okay, so measure customer satisfaction and feedback capturing. The IVR is used to measure customer satisfaction and feedback. Then there are new voice recognition and text to speech and the artificial intelligence, and all these things are coming into IVR to making it more intelligent. So we can call it as today's IVR is intelligent IVR, right? Then a lot of database integrations. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that IVR is not a very simple auto attendant anymore. It's a more intelligent, more integrated, and more of a productivity tool for the organizations. Okay, so now how IVR can help organization to achieve automation and cost reduction, right? So that is our main topic. I have already explained, how voice blasting can achieve these targets. Now how IVR. So 5 use case scenarios, I just wanted to explain it to you to make you more understandable. As I mentioned, it is not just limited to these 5 use case scenarios, right? It can be used across industries and scenarios can change. So we need to just identify how you can utilize this available intelligent IVR technology to your benefits. So these are certain use case scenarios based on our expertise in implementing this for multiple customers. The one is lead scoring. Okay, please keep it. It's not lead generation or lead qualifying. It's okay, maybe leads qualifying is correct. Lead scoring. So what is it? Now there are companies implementing today. When a customer calls, see why you reach out to a company, based on your product or services, it can be a sales inquiry, right? So the IVR can qualify a lead, a caller, in the IVR itself. You add 2-3 levels, right? If somebody is calling astTECS, right, and it will ask for press 1 for sales. Now normally in traditional, what we do, we forward to the sales department. Now we can add 2 or 3 more levels. Okay, and we can gather more information and make sure that this caller is more genuine or more interested for a particular product. So we call it as lead scoring. So based on multiple levels it goes through, is score. When I say score, from a cold caller to a hot lead, right? Up to hot lead you can make him qualify through the IVR. Okay, so a lot of companies are implementing lead scoring using using IVR. Okay, so that is one option. The second thing is marketing promotions, right? So when I say marketing promotions, it's not that you blast, again, not part of the voice blasting. I'm talking about an inbound IVR. So what happens now, wherever you see in the market, okay, you have a lot of e-commerce companies, a lot of chain stores, right? It can be a lot of multiple stores of a same brand. So they periodically come across with different coupons and promotional activities, right? Then they will give a number. Okay, for example, recently we are doing it processed by our customers. So there are coupons. If you wanted to redeem these coupons, you have to call a particular IVR and enter your registered mobile number, then enter your coupon details, then the coupon will get redeemed. Why companies are adopting this is that to reduce sending the printed coupons to the customers, then to eliminate the fraud which is happening in the coupon business. It's like a financial transaction, right? It's a coupon discount, 50%, 60,000, 60%, or you have 500 points or 1,000 points. It's a like a financial transaction. So the fraud is happening. That's what our customers. So to bypass this or eliminate this or block this, they come up with the IVR solution. For example, you walk into a store, for example, it can be an Alan Solly or Louis Philippe, and you have your points, reward points you earned. To redeem that, you have to call an IVR. Then IVR will verify which number you are calling, is it registered, and what is your point against your number or against your membership, or it will ask you to enter the membership. Then it redeems your points, right? So that is what marketing promotions means. So a lot of companies, we have companies like Capillary Technologies, where the coupons, all these companies are implementing the IVR based coupon reduction or programs. Payment processing. So another thing is that a lot of companies are collecting payments. It can be e-commerce or it can be offline companies, but still the online payments are very prevalent. So now there is a concept called IVR payments. So you can call an IVR and then you can do the payment. Okay, so where we have to do the integration with payment gateways, all these things in the backend will be taken care, or the companies have the expertise. For example, astTECS has the expertise to do all these things, so the payments can be processed over an IVR. Okay, then appointment fixing and reminders. So that is another important thing, which lot of hospitals and a lot of restaurants are implementing the IVR based appointment fixing and reminders. For example, recently we are in the process of implementing a big government hospital, a complete automated appointment fixing system using the IVRs. When a customer calls, we ask his hospital registration number, then we query with the hospital management system, then we help him to get to the right department. It can be a psychology or neurology or so multiple department which they have. Then specific time, then appointment. So everything will be done over a IVR. Then the SMS or a message will be shared with both the hospital concerned people as well as the customer. At any point of time, this customer can call and postpone or cancel these appointments. So in previously, these are done manually with a lot of manpower and efforts. Now very seamlessly, by implementing an IVR solution, you can solve very complex issues. So appointment fixing and reminders, a lot of companies. Feedback and surveys. Okay, so I think now the customer satisfaction or CSAT is very, very standard for all the companies. All the companies wanted to measure their CSAT. So how they do? Because in previous days, the people will live call and ask the questions, but now that has replaced by a live interactive feedback IVR mechanism. IVR will be, once you're talking to a customer, you can transfer him right away to a feedback IVR so that you're getting an instant feedback. Or once the call is over, a feedback IVR number itself can be published. So normally the consumer products and all, you have for feedback, they will give an email ID, right? Now they will give an IVR number. So instead of sending an email and wait for somebody to respond, you can call the feedback IVR and give your feedback, right? So it has become so instantaneous. Okay, so this is how the IVR helps the organization to achieve their automation goals and all these activities, right? When the companies implement the 5 which I've explained here and more such such processes which we can implement for multiple industries and companies, will ultimately lead to the automation. When I say automation, in the sense, of course, the reduction in the manpower, and which will inevitably lead to the reduction in the cost as well as the saving of time, and the system will be more efficient, and there is no multiple manual intervention leading to errors. The integrated with the data, everything will automatically through an integration get updated. Okay, so my dear friends, this is what about the IVR, and So we have explained in detail about voice blasting solution which we have, its features and its application scope, how the organization can benefit from the voice blasting solution, and how it is effectively going to replace SMS and email. Okay, which is going to be a next new customer approach tool. Then we have spoke about the IVR solution and how IVR can help organization to achieve their automation and cost reduction goals. So this is what we have today as a discussion, as a presentation in this webinar. So why to wait now? Now please call your prospects and offer a complete voice blasting or IVR solution and enable him to achieve his business goals efficiently. Okay. Thank you so much, and we can get into the Q&A, question answer session. So let me just go to the page to see how many questions we have. Okay, good. Yeah, so good day all. Please, I hope, hear me on. I hope we are going to receive the recorded webinar through our email accounts. Okay, this is a very common question in all our webinar, that will we receive the recorded webinar through your mail? Let me tell you, of course we will be sharing you the recorded message by email, but at the same time um, uh, we also upload this to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe our YouTube channel. At the same time, we will be posting this on our Facebook. Please like and follow our Facebook page. Maybe our marketing team will be sharing the YouTube and Facebook link in the comment below. I request our marketing team to share those things. So I request all the participants, please start following our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook and LinkedIn pages, so that you will get all these webinars posted there. Because we may miss sending by email, but in the YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, it is always available, and you can go back to our previous webinars as well. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Somebody has already responded to that. Thank you. In a meeting. Okay. This is sent to you privately. Click. Somebody has sent a private message. We'll check that. How is the voice blasting charged? Peter. I think Peter is from maybe from Nigeria. So voice blasting, I think of course there are charges. So let me just explain to you how it will be charged. I may not be able to give you an exact costing now, because that we may have to discuss with you and understand your requirement. But as I mentioned, we have cloud as well as premise based solution. If you opt for the cloud solution, it is one is the platform charge, okay, which is a monthly cost, plus the calling charges, right? In case of India, it is a, you know, or okay, if it is within the country, it's a local charges. There is a charges for that. In case of international calling, based on our cloud availability and the VoIP service availability, the cost will vary. So if it's a cloud solution, there is a monthly rental for the platform plus the calling charges. If it is a premise based solution, there is a one time cost for the platform, right, which you will be purchasing in a box. We have a box solution which we can give it, or a software installation. And the calling charges anyway is your telephone line, so you will be procuring PRI line or GSM, whatever it is, and you will be paying directly to your service provider. Hope I have answered that. Will voice blasting depend on the number of trunk lines? JDC to everyone. Okay. Will voice blasting depend on number of trunk lines? Of course, the voice blasting depend on number of trunk lines. It depends in the sense it's correlative. For example, you wanted to reach out to 10,000 customers in 1 week's time, and what is it you have to reach out to them? If you have a PRI line, typically 30 channels, so 30 concurrent calls, and based on your call length, so much in 1 hour, so much calls can be dialed, and so much people can be contacted. So there is a correlation towards the trunk line, how many numbers concurrently we are able to dial. So we can help you to size based on your reachability and the length of the voice file and the type of line you should use. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, the voice blasting depends on the trunk lines, but voice blasting depends in the sense it will work with any trunk line. Okay, there is no restriction with that, but how many people you wanted to reach at a time depends on the trunk line. Per minute per number of contacts. Yeah, Peter is okay. Per minute per number of contacts. Okay, so the question per minute per number of contacts. No, it can be sized. It can be sized based on the requirement. In voice blasting, any number limitation database? No, there is no number limitation database. You can upload the available numbers. Yeah, there is no number restrictions as such. Yeah. Everyday number limitation voice blasting? No. Poonam. Yeah, everyday. No, okay, so let me explain. Everyday number limitation in voice blasting. No, it is not like that, right? You can upload any numbers and you can decide how many people you wanted to reach. You know, if you are somebody is using our cloud solution and tell us that I wanted to reach 1 lakh database or 1 lakh contacts in a day, then we have to give you a cloud platform which can support that much. Then we will analyze what is your call length. For example, 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, then how many calls to be dialed in a seconds to reach how much is the dialing time, 8 hours or 10 hours or 24 hours. So it depends on multiple parameters. So there is no limitations. The limitation is, you know, is based on what you wanted to achieve. Okay, so accordingly we will size. Yeah, but it should be reasonable also, because you know, for one day we cannot have so many PRI lines. So we have to see all the viabilities. Okay, thank you, Mansukh ji. Thank you, Binish. Thank you, Binish. Can we use this solution for sending voice-based OTP? Yes. Okay. I think Vijay, yes. I have explained in the presentation. Yes, you can do that. The question sufficiently. Okay. JDC. Thank you so much. What if there is existing IPPBX? How do we integrate it with voice blasting? Okay, David. Okay, David Tony. So good question, David. What if there is an existing IPPBX? How do we integrate with the voice blasting? Yeah, so we can integrate to that question. My answer is that yes, we can integrate with your existing IPPBX. If it is from astTECS, very much easily we can integrate because both are compatible. If you are using a third-party IPPBX, then we need to see. So why we need to integrate? That's one question. So we need to integrate if you wanted to share the trunk line. You getting my point? So you have a existing IPPBX and you have one or two PRI lines you are using, which is connected to that existing IPPBX, which cannot be shifted to the voice blasting. Then we have to share those resources. Then we have to integrate with the existing IPPBX. If it is astTECS, yes, straightforward integration. If it is any third-party IPPBX like Avaya, Cisco, then we need to do a SIP based integration, SIP or a PRI to PRI pairing. So those feasibility we need to check. But nowadays, lot of, if it is an IPPBX, yes, we can integrate because a lot of IPPBX are SIP enabled. Okay, Mansukh G is asking, can we use voice blasting for payment reminders with announcement, bill date, amount, due date? Very much. Very much. Can we use voice blasting for payment reminders with announcement of bill date, amount, due date in real voice? Okay. Yeah, so here a text to speech component also comes into picture. So that is the beauty of it. So in short, to answer your question, yes, very much. We can have a integrated voice blasting solution where you dial out, and once the customer is answered, based on his bill date, his amount due, we can announce. A lot of companies are using these services. You might be getting the calls. DND number also we can send VB Balan. Okay, I think DND number also. See, DND by default do not disturb. Again, what type of service it is used? For example, a bank, Amex is calling me, right? Because I hold Amex credit card, and Amex is calling me and asking me your credit limit increase is available. If you're interested, press 1. So then I cannot complain because they are not, it's not an unsolicited call, it is a customer service call. But if you're doing an unsolicited call, a marketing call or a sales call to a DNE number, maybe you may get penalized. So you need to see these both the thing. See, for Bajaj Finance is widely uses voice blasting in India. I think they call everybody, because everybody in the sense, almost all the people are one way or other way their customers. So actually they are calling their existing customers. I don't know, is there any legal angle to penalize if you call your customer? Poonam, okay, thank you, Poonam. Does this solution support text to speech instead of recording voice and uploading it manually anytime? Yes, Vijay. We can integrate with the text to speech tools. There are multiple tools. There are Google translators. There are multiple text to speech tools available today, which we have already done and integrated. Few people have sent private message. Where do we check the private message? For integration with third-party IPPBX, if live agent is in IPPBX local extension, can voice blasting transfer call to IPPBX? Okay, good question. So if you integrate with existing IPPBX and agents are with IPPBX, we can transfer the call. Yes, the answer is yes. Then the integration with IPPBX is not just to pass the call. There are other parameters also. If somebody has answered the call and pressed 1 interested, then we pass a message telling that, yeah, pass the call to this particular extension. Then IPPBX should route this call to that particular extension. So here what we require is that we require support from IPPBX as well to accomplish this integration. Are separate hardware involved apart from IPPBX? Separate hardware involves, yes. We will not be able to install in the existing IPPBX itself, because that's a different software and application. Then this is a different application. But good thing is that if you go with astTECS IPPBX, it has an inbuilt voice blasting. Okay, it has an inbuilt voice blasting. But if you're using a third-party IPPBX, then we cannot install on those because the platforms are different. So then we need to give it separate. Emion, kindly discuss the requirement for on-premise VB. Okay. Emion, I think the respective salesperson will reach out to you and to discuss it further. Any more messages? I think. Okay, that's it. I hope I have answered everyone's question. Thank you so much joining today's webinar. We will be thank you. We will be coming back with yet another interesting webinar next month. Stay tuned. Please follow our YouTube and website, Facebook and LinkedIn channels to avail more updates, to see the webinars and other postings. Thank you so much. So stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.